Hi, welcome to episode 291 of 365. We're almost at the end. On today's episode, I chat with Eniola about locking as the year ends, what that looks like for both of us, and why we should cut ourselves some slack even as we locking. Enjoy! Hi, welcome to today's episode of A Couple of Things, a Friday podcast, a podcast about things. Today I have a guest again. Her name is Eniola, and I'm going to ask her to introduce herself.
Oh gosh. Hi, I'm really excited to be here. So yes, my name is Eniola and I'm like a fangirl. Other than being the things that I am, I'm also a designer, I'm a writer, and I'm also doing my service here.
A
NYC
very
service.
good writer, I must say.
Oh, top.
But yeah, so as always, first two things is how did we meet?
So, do you want to talk about it or should I?
You can talk about it.
Okay. So, I signed up for a Creative Girls, mentorship program
Mhm.
by Bren. And honestly, when they were like, oh, they're going to pair us randomly with a mate, I said, God, please, please, God, let us get along. And then I met Lade. And honestly, it has been one of the most amazing connections I have made this year, last year, in the past 1 decade, self. Like,
Eniola,
incredible.
please.
Honestly, I am a very huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I'm always saying that I don't know how Lade makes use of her 24 hours. It cannot be the same 24 hours we have because she's doing a podcast, she's doing this, she's doing that. I'm like,
No,
that's how.
I just don't do some things I'm supposed to do, so I do other things instead. But yeah, we met through the for the Creative Girl mentorship. Actually, like so they send us a list of like three or four people, and what they want to focus on, and then you can decide like, oh, does this apply to what you can actually mentor the person on? I actually almost picked someone else, but then I
Would you
decided to look through the mentorship list again before I sent in my response to for creative girls. And when I read it again, your name just popped out to me. And I was like,
glory?
oh, okay. Let's go with it. I don't know why, I can't remember because I actually had picked someone else already when they sent me the list, but I just said let me look at it again before responding and it just popped out. So God really wanted us to meet.
Yeah, divine
um
connection on my app.
yeah. And yeah, like your agreement too, you did not stress me.
At all. I'm sorry. Um,
Um, all right. So, second question that we always start with is, what's on your mind today?
oof. Honestly, this podcast is on my mind. It has been on my
Hmm.
mind yesterday.
Okay.
Because I think this is the first time that I'll be talking about my writing or
Oh, okay.
anything I've written
Hmm.
about outside of, just writing it on Medium. So I'm a bit nervous, like, will I be able to capture the essence of what me, myself, wrote or
Well,
not?
the way to think about, or the way I think about it is like sometimes when I have podcast episodes and I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about this topic, then after I have published it, I'm like, oh, I should have also talked about this and this and this and that. So it's fine. It's part of life.
Actually, this. So, yes, but I'm really excited, honestly. I'm looking forward to what we have to discuss today. So,
Awesome. Okay. So I read something, you shared something you wrote on your WhatsApp, and I read it and I was like, oh, this is a great topic. And you should come and talk about it because really it's the end of the year and people start, fussing and panicking and everything like that. Now there, I think 69, 68 days left
yep.
in the year. And people may be stressed. So I really liked what you wrote about, and I wanted to want to talk about it. But before that, is there anything else that's on your mind before we go to that?
Oh, no, I'm ready to get into this topic.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, over to you. The floor is yours. This is your episode.
Oh, yes, yes, it's my turn. So, honestly, like I had been thinking about this topic for a long time. In fact, for since the beginning of September till now, I'd been thinking about it because I'm aware that the year is rounding up and like every other person, when the year comes to an end or it's almost coming to an end, you start to like, calculate all the things we've done, all the things we've not done. How should we have done them? And it can be a whole lot of pressure. And I just wanted to say that really, the year is almost coming to an end. So what? Like, you might as well get what you want to do done, and if you don't get it done, that's fine too. But
Right.
like, you want to invest your time, you want to invest your energy into it, you want to try, give it a shot. But that doesn't mean that you will now start beating yourself over the things you should have done. Oh, I should have done it this way. Like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's still a great opportunity for you to see, how you could have done things in a better way, in a very positive way, not that you start beating yourself over it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, time is short, yes,
Hmm.
but still, you want to find a system that works for you, a system that works with making things easier for you, instead of just stressing yourself over how should I have done this? Oh, let me do this. I haven't done this. So, I mean, do you understand?
Yes, I do understand. And this is something that I agree with, especially for me,
Mm-hmm.
because my birthday is in a couple of days, and I think of my own new year as my birthday. Like my new year starts on my birthday, and the end of the year starts on my birthday. So every year, my birthdays, I started doing this like 3 years ago. I take some time to retreat and write my plans prayerfully,
Mm-hmm.
view my past year and my plans for the next year. And so it's like, well, some things is in the end of 60 something days for the end of the year. But for me, the end of
Mm-hmm.
my year is in like 8 days or 7 days or something. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? But at the same time, it's like me, the work by me. It's 8 days left. What do I want to do? I can't kill myself. Right. So yeah, the time is short. And yeah, there are some things, 7 days, 8 days is still there's still time and more much broader for people who look at like December into January. 60
Mm-hmm.
something days is still a lot of time. So there's still some things that you can do in that time, but at the same time, you can't do everything. So at this point, the question is, what is the most important thing for me to do right now to make the rest of the year meaningful? Not, oh, now I need to complete all the 10 things on my New Year resolution list. Right. So, and you talk.
Honestly,
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. But like, I just wanted to say that is it. I feel like as the year starts round, we forget all the things we've achieved. If I wasn't, I was writing this blog, I was like, wait, I actually graduated this year. I had forgotten.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What
I
you mean
had
you had
forgotten.
forgotten that you graduated?
So I'm like, wait a minute, how would I have done a YC if I did not finish? And I
Eniola.
really went a lot in my final year. So I'm grateful to God because I'm remembering all the things that I went through, and I'm like, wow, I survived.
Hmm.
So yes, like it's nice to focus on the things you want to accomplish, but at the same time, like you can look back, reflect on the goals you smashed, honestly, and you see that they are not even small. Like you really did a lot. You
Yeah.
tried your best.
Yeah. And sometimes the things that you did may not even have been a goal that you set out to do from the beginning of the year. Like for me, going to school for my master's wasn't in my plans for the year, but that's something that happened.
Wow,
And
really?
yeah, it wasn't. I'm going to dedicate a whole episode talking about this thing because yes, I did
Wow.
apply to school, but no, I wasn't planning on going to school. It's a very complicated and weird thing. And I don't know, I can't talk about it now because this is your episode. But yeah, it wasn't
That,
in my plans. And it did happen. So even if it's like, oh, what have I done this year? I can hold on to this one.
yes,
Right.
really.
So, or even the podcast, like there are things that a lot of time again, when we're looking towards the end of the year, we're not looking back at the previous months to say what has happened in this time that I can be grateful for that I accomplished. That's why I always start my reviews by looking at my calendar, my journals, my to-do list, and all those things to see what I actually did. Because it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to feel like, oh, I have not done anything at all in the 365 days.
Honestly.
How is that
And
even possible? That's not possible, except you're literally just now your chair from morning to night every day watching Netflix. That's not possible. And perhaps, do you know that's also something? If you watch 1,000 Netflix movies in 1 year, that's a lot. That's an achievement.
If you think about it that way, it is.
Well, yeah, like
Cause, eh?
yeah, go ahead.
Cause like I mean, I feel like everybody is always looking for that huge goal they need to smash before
Mm,
they can say, hey, I have done something with my life this year.
mm.
And I'm also a victim of that, even hypocritical, but yes.
No, like
Cause like
we're all hypocrites.
I mean, that's why we are doing this. So because I'm like, wow, I have not done this year with my design career. I haven't done this. I need to do this. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's like, do I really need this big goal before I can be grateful for myself, be
Hmm.
grateful for the things I've experienced, and also
Yeah.
give myself permission to enjoy rewards? Like, do I
Yeah.
need to achieve something huge before I can say, yeah, I deserve to relax, sit back, and watch some
Mm.
Netflix, maybe 1,000.
Right. I think it's so important to be able to, as well. Yes, it's very important to like plan and make all this and want to achieve these things and accomplish these things, but it's also important to continue going regardless, which is something you talked about in the concept of locking in. So I want to talk about that. And that's the thing that I've been seeing on socials for a while now, locking. So for you, what does that mean? Like, especially
Wow.
in the context of moving towards the end of the year. What does locking in
Yeah.
mean?
Okay. I mean, I think to explain this, I have to be really specific about my experience so far.
Of course, please.
Yeah. So moving to a new city has been very, very interesting for especially a city like Lagos.
Mm.
Sometimes I question my, what was I thinking? Why did I do this? But on the good side, it has been really helpful for me because I get to create a new system in a new environment.
Mm.
And this means that I have a chance to change some daily routines that weren't really helpful for me
Yeah.
because at home, in my parents' house, especially when I don't have to like go to school, go anywhere. I spend my day just indulging in like TikTok videos and Instagram reels because it's so comfortable for me. I'm literally
Mm.
at home. But in Lagos, yes, it's comfortable, but there's this sense of, I'm here, right? I also need to accomplish this today. So
Yeah.
for me, logging in is not really about, this morning I have to read 100 chapters before I go to bed, or I must do design tutorials. It's more like creating a system that works.
Yeah.
And this system for me has been, writing down the things that I want to do today. It has been also putting in break times in my to-do list. So at least I'm very conscious of the time that I have to spend, relaxing or just indulging in my TikTok habits. And it has
Yeah.
also been trying my best to tailor my social media to, reflect the things I want to learn. So even when I'm distracted, quote unquote, I still come across the things that I want to learn or the things that I want to improve on. So for me, I think locking in to the end of the year has been me trying to change my system, trying to change my routine to one that works for me and focusing less on I have to smash 7 big goals before December 31st,
Mm.
2024. So honestly, it has been really helpful for me. I have seen some small growths, although they are not as, prominent as I would like them to be, but it's really reflective on my habits. I mean, now I can say that if I wake up every morning, I write down what I want to do. So yes, that's it for me. What about you?
Wow, I wasn't expecting to answer this question. But I think there are two things that are top of mind for me when I think about locking in on stuff for the rest of the year. And I mean the actual December, not my birthday year, because
Yeah.
it's already I think it's the podcast and school, basically. Because sometime like somewhere earlier in the year, I would have said, yeah, maybe I'm not going to finish this. And I talked about it a bit previously
Yeah,
about, especially when I started school, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not actually like, I don't think I can finish this. But seeing that I only have 60 something episodes to go is like, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's wrap this thing up.
exactly.
Let's finish it. Like, let's look for ideas. Let's look for what we can talk about for the rest of the days that are left in the year and all of that. And then the
Yeah.
second thing for me is school.
Mm,
Part of me was wanting to look for a student job and things that I can start doing even this year before I quit my job. I was already thinking like, oh, I need to find a student job, I need to do this, I need to do that. But I was like, you know what? I'm in a position where I'm privileged to not need to do that. Like I can, it would be nice to have extra money for stuff that I want to do, but I
mhm,
don't have to. And I will cover like bare necessities will be covered, the essentials will be covered. So I don't necessarily have to find a student job to survive, right?
mhm,
Which is a great privilege. And I was like, instead of focusing my energy on that, I can focus my energy on locking in on school. And
mm,
because there's a lot of new things that I have to learn. I can focus on getting the rest that I've been saying that I need to get because at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm going to do 2 days of doing nothing and retreating every quarter. That hasn't really worked out. I think I did only in Q2. But I can now I have the opportunity. I can actually do that. So because for me, it's not just about like doing something or achieving things, it's also about am I keeping the promises I made to myself, which includes incorporating rest time into things. Is now when I come out from school, sometimes I'll take a nap, which is something that I would have struggled to do. But it's like this is do the things you said you would do, including resting.
mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is how I'm thinking of locking in for the rest of the
Mm, that's brilliant and very relatable, especially this rest part. Although me, I don't have a problem with that one.
year. But yeah, so it's like got yourself some slack and there's only so much you can do in 60 something days, even though there's something you can do in 60 something days. Like I
Yes.
can complete my Python courses in the next 2 months. I can
Mm.
focus my energy on that because I think another problem with trying to finish everything is that your energy is dispersed into so many things and you won't really be
Yes.
able to do much. But if you focus on one or two things in these 60 days, 60 something days that are left, I promise
Mhm.
you that you can actually do one thing and do it really well and just focus on that. Like now, I've decided to also another thing that I stopped doing was like my Dutch. I was like, okay, learning Dutch is not going to work with these other things that I'm doing. I need to put that aside and find some other way. So I'm not doing classes, but I'm trying to do speaking cafes and speak more Dutch in my daily life wherever the
Mm.
opportunity presents itself. But I'm not like it's no longer a priority. I had to push it back to
Yeah.
focus on other things so I can, like you say, lock in on these
Exactly.
other things that are more important and more pressing for now. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That makes more sense. And I also even want to talk about locking in as a social media trend
Mm.
and why I believe that the effect might be a bit adverse. Because if you go on Twitter, you Google locking, everybody's angrily tweeting that they are locking in this year. The year is coming to an end. If you're not locking, you don't know what you're doing with your life.
Mm.
And I'm like, I like the energy, but I mean, let's relax. Okay. It's not that serious, especially when your locking in is, coming to tell everybody, oh, I did this today, I did this today, I did this today. I think that false sense of posting on social media and then everybody saying yes, getting that validation might make you feel like, oh, I'm actually achieving something when you are just posting it. But deep down, are you really doing that thing, or you just did it and you posted it and you went back to sleep? Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it would help if you do some things without even like putting it on social media, especially when you have not finished doing it. Deep down your mind, you know that
Mm.
you did not complete that task. You might as well just wait till you're like, oh yeah, I already did this. Not say I want to do this today, I want to do this tomorrow. You people, if I don't do it, come to my house and find me.
I think I
And
might
I am
disagree with you there. Oh. I think it depends.
really,
I do think that
yeah,
like, generally, right? It's like sometimes people just do those things and they don't actually go on to act on what they've posted that they're going to do, right?
yes.
But at the same time, I think that there can be value in doing that. These are my plans, like publicly saying that these are my plans and these are things I want to do. Because that
Okay.
also gives you some kind of external motivation that I've got to tell everybody, so I have to do it.
Oh
Right.
yes,
So I
yes.
think it depends on what the thing is. If it's like, oh, I'm going to write today. I don't like
Okay.
if it's not like something that if it's different, saying like I'm going to publish an article every month to the end or every week to the end of the year
Yeah.
or every month to the end of the year. That I think is something that you can post because it's like, oh, you're creating this kind of
Yes. I'm
external
going to do
accountability
it.
for yourself that, oh, I have to do this
Yes.
versus, oh, I'm going to write. Like, I don't care. Like, write it in your house. I don't get like, why are you
Exactly.
telling me?
Like the second one, especially when you don't have like evidence for it, it just gives you that false sense of, oh, I already fulfilled it when you have not even done it.
Exactly.
And
So
everything.
it's a tricky line, but I do think that there can be value in publicly sharing things that you haven't finished. Yeah,
I agree.
but be careful, Sha. So it's not like you're deceiving yourself by getting that dopamine hit of people are saying, yeah, well done, nice, nice, you're going to do this, and then you don't actually do it.
It, and I used to do it for a long time because it was just really easy to fool myself into believing like, oh, I already did this thing. Whereas in my house, I had not done it. So what helped me was doing it and then posting the results after if I needed to. So
Yeah.
at least if people are going to hail me, there's evidence of my
There's evidence that the guys to heal you. I love that.
ahead.
But yeah, it's
So
like I think it's just context and situation dependent, and you should also know yourself as well.
to be honest with yourself, honestly. Like don't lie to me, don't lie to yourself. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's about you, it's about your abilities, and it's about your strategy and what you want to do with your time and your focus. So, I mean,
Exactly. I love that. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I just want to say that finding a strategy that works for you, where while you are locking, this locking season of your life is really
Not the
important.
locking season.
Locking season. Because it's really easy to get distracted. And it's not a bad thing to be distracted. We all get distracted. It's totally fine. And you don't always have to be laser focused on your goals 24/7. You don't need to feel guilty if you slightly deviate from it, or some days you don't give it your 100%, some days you give it like 50. It's totally
Yeah,
fine too. At the end of the day, you are closer to your goals than you were yesterday. So that's all that matters. Take it
exactly.
easy.
Take it. Are you late? Life is not hard. Yeah, the one like I think that were the ones that complicate things and make things harder than they can be because
Fact.
the point is that you have if you're doing something every day, every other day in the direction of your goal, that's fine. It doesn't have to be very intense all the time. Like breathe a little, breathe. And yeah, thank you so much. It was a great, great conversation. I will put the link to the article in the show notes. But is there anything anywhere if people want to connect with you, where can they find you? I often forget to ask this question, so it's good that I
Oh,
remember.
yes. Thank God. Today's my lucky day. I have my LinkedIn, so and I have my
Okay.
Twitter. So for
Okay.
LinkedIn, it is Eniola Olaniyi.
Hmm.
So if you can just Google that if you
Yeah, I'll
want.
put
And
that
then
in the show notes as well.
okay. And then for my Twitter, it is Eniolaniyi underscore.
Cool, cool, cool.
ENIOLANIYI_.
Awesome. I will
So
put
thank you
all the
so
links in the
much.
show notes. Thank you. Bye. Thanks for
Bye bye.
listening. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of A Couple of Things. If there was anything you found interesting or insightful or you enjoyed the episode, please do share to someone or multiple people. Like, leave a comment, and definitely do subscribe and all the nice things. Bye.